Hey, all my crafting friends. This is gonna be day 23. We're almost there of our Christmas in July series. I do realize that I have gotten off a little bit, but we're gonna crank out these last couple of days. Well, the last 10 days? Yeah, 10 days, 31 days, and get some stuff done. Though we've gotten so much done, I tell you guys, we definitely have. I just didn't get something done every day in July, which, was a big feat anyways. We are using mainly Colorado Craft Company stamps. If you don't know this company, definitely check them out. Such a great company. They have very different looking stamps, like whimsical stamps. This one stamp I actually won in a giveaway. This one I bought myself because I absolutely just loved this. When somebody's using it in a video, I've used it 2 years in a row. We're going to use it a little bit differently today. We are specifically going to use this Merry and Bright on a, I think, mini slimline is what it's going to fit. Pretty well. I have not used this stamp yet, but I love it, and I've been trying to figure out a way, and I think I have figured it out. I plan on using this, but we might switch it to some other Snowflake stamps, so we'll see. And I do believe we're gonna try and make 2 today. So let's get started. I will have these linked in the description below. I do believe these are both when I looked the last time. I love Colorado's Big and Bold line. There is a jack-o'-lantern that I have been dying to get my hands on, though I don't know what I would do with it, but I love the cards that I see made with it. So I always say, like, when it goes on sale, when I win something else, because they have giveaways all of the time. They're great for that. So check them out, and yeah, let me know what you think. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's get started on this project. We are going to cut a piece of red cardstock and a piece of green cardstock. I don't have fancy cardstock and know all the names of my cardstocks. I do think that the red one is a basil or Brazil, whatever you call that. I mean, you still get it from Joann's. That's one thing that I really haven't invested in at this point. Maybe one day, but again, I am a pretty big crafter on a budget, so I get regular cardstock. It is still thick, good cardstock. The green is actually a textured cardstock, so that does affect the embossing, but that's okay. I never need every time to have a super smooth embossing, and I think it looks fabulous. So the first step to this is that these 2 cardstocks are pretty dark, so I didn't feel like I needed to ink blend more than adding the black soot on the edges. I love a good black soot edge, as you guys have probably seen. These are 3 1/4 by 6 1/4 for a mini slimline, so they did not fit in my mini Misty, unfortunately. So I did have to bring out the old guy, and this one is the size, I believe, of a regular Misty. Like I always say, I know that Misties are pretty expensive, and but they are worth their weight. But I only have a mini Misty at this point. One day maybe I will invest in a bigger one. But for right now, this guy gets the job done when the Misty cannot. So I'm using that Merry and Bright stamp from Colorado Craft Company, and just using my Versamark to put that down. I did use an anti-static pad. Always, always, always use your anti-static. And just so that you get a much cleaner, it makes your job just a lot easier. I am using the Princess Gold Ranger embossing powder for the Merry and Bright. I love this color. It's that perfect matte gold color. I do need to look into the Wow embossing powder, though. I really didn't know that there was tons of other embossing powders out there. And I always just got these, obviously, from a Hobby Lobby or Joann's. So one day I'll look into those. All right, so we are going to heat set those. So freaking pretty. Again, I'm still figuring out light, and I'm actually going to be changing my craft room around, I have decided. So I'm not going to worry about it too much right now, but we will get to that. But oh my goodness, look how pretty that is. I love it. I love it, love it. These cards ended up coming out not at all like I thought they were going to. I thought these were going to be like super snowflakey and all that kind of stuff. But once I started using the snowflake, I kind of realized like, oh, the snowflake is very large, obviously. It's supposed to be. And it's just not going to give you snowflake vibes. It actually ends up almost giving you like pine cone vibes almost. I don't know how to really throw it out there. I ended up loving the look of it, but it just was not the look that I was going for in the beginning. It is what it is. It's okay. But what I am doing is I'm just using my embossing powder and going around the edges of everything. And then we are going to use clear embossing powder. So I know it goes on white. You'll see this, but I love this transition when you heat set it. And sorry, I should have, I think I was zoomed a little too far in, and I should have pulled it out, but look at that. So it just lets that color of the cardstock come through, darkens it though, of course, and is clear. I love the look of this. I did it several times last year on different cards in different ways, with this stamp though, but just showed more of the snowflake probably. And loved it. You still want to use your anti-static pad, same way. And I just kind of fit that big stamp around the Merry and Bright, and, you know, and just went around the edges. There I am using my anti-static pad just to make sure, and just cleared and embossed all the way around. And I love the effect that it gave. These two were super fun. I'm definitely gonna, these are TikTok live cards. Everybody loves the embossing. So I think I will be going live probably tonight. Yeah, tonight, to do 2 more of these cards. And I'll have 4 since I probably need to catch up a little bit, since I've been a little MIA, but we're going to get back on the bandwagon here. I end up spilling my embossing powder, which isn't the worst thing in the world on a glass mat. I can tell you that. These glass mats definitely are super easy to clean up messes. So I was pretty happy about that. All right. So now we went around this whole edge. Now, like I said, I wanted this to be like snowflakes all the way around, and it definitely was not that. So I will go in with a small snowflake stamp here in a little bit and go around, but maybe on the live tonight I'll change it up a bit and do more snowflake-ish cards. But like I said, it doesn't matter. They turned out beautifully. It just didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it in my head. Now, other than this going around the edge part, these cards were very easy to make, very mass producible, pretty much. As you can see, I probably did 2 in about an hour, I would say. And I think that honestly, you could do it much quicker now that I have, you know, what I kind of wanted down also. Here I am at taking that small stamp. I was like, oh shoot, I forgot to anti-static. Taking that small stamp, going around. Now your embossing powder, I'm sorry, will stick to the clear embossing. Unless you do anti-static. You're going to see I had to go in with a paintbrush a lot and get that clear embossing powder down. But there we go. We're just stamping, and I just used an acrylic block. I wasn't going to use the Misty or, you know, my stamp positioner to do that. I just real quick went in and just made a few snowflakes just to make it look snowflake-ish, I guess I should say. I was trying to give the illusion that it was supposed to be snowflakes. But love this. Now, I went through several different pieces of backdrop paper. I didn't like any of them. I was sold that I was doing a gold matte. Once I seen it, I was like, yeah, I don't love it. once I seen it on camera, it wasn't as bad, but in person, I just didn't love it. And so I'd seen, I think, Christina Warner do this before and like just run her Versamark across the edges and like do a gilded gold edge pretty much to give you that edge. And then I just didn't mat it at all. I put it straight down on my card base and didn't mat it at all. Some cards just don't need a mat, but I felt like it did need an edge, and doing this gold edge definitely just made that gold pop again. Now you can see, hopefully, sorry guys, I know I went off camera a little bit. I was doing this at like 11 o'clock at night. But look at that gold edge. I love it. I'm a sucker for gold, so I mean that worked well for me, right? Well for me. Maybe in my next couple of cards I can, you know, switch the design. Even when you find a good design in your first couple of cards, I don't believe that you have to stick to that design for all of the rest of the cards. You can vamp it, you know, you can find little ways to make it even better as you go through it. But I definitely think I'll be doing more of these cards. I think I found a good design. Yeah, I was excited at that point. I was like, oh, it looks so good. Again, not what I had. So now we're just cutting our card base down to 6.5 by 6 1/4. So pretty square. Obviously, they're 3 1/4. So times 2 is 6.5, and then your length. And I just did this on extra thick cardstock because these pieces of paper have went through a lot of heat, so they were warped. But this morning when I woke up, I just put them under acrylic block overnight on these card bases, and honestly, they're flat as new pretty much at this point. So once they went through so much heat, I think, you know, they ended up like kind of going back to normal almost. Like I said, I used a lot of heat embossing on these. So using our Barely Arts glue, of course, to put those down on the card bases. Now, this night I did not get to put a sentiment on the inside of my cards, but I will here soon. Thank you guys all for coming along with me for the, 22 days? Day 22 of, I think it's day 21 or day 22 of my Christmas in July series. These were so beautiful, and I'm so glad that I got to use this stamp set finally. And I will see you guys in the next one. Here we go. Oh, I am gonna come back and just show you those cards. Oh, I'm gonna wipe all that in that anti-static powder off. Don't forget to do that, and it brings those colors back also. All right, guys, definitely leave a comment below with a snowflake and let me know what you think.